Good morning, St. Brendan. Um, if you're anything like me, you had really high hopes and really grand plans for your time in quarantine, your time on the front lines, your time with your family. Personally, I was like, I'm going to get up every morning. I'm going to spend so much time in prayer. I'll get outside every day. I had really grand plans for how to handle quarantine, how to do well at quarantine, how to enforce a self set schedule so I don't go crazy during quarantine. And they fell short. I fell short of those grand plans. And it was just a beautiful time, personally, to not get disheartened, which can be really hard when we make some plan, we make some sacrifice, and it doesn't work out. I wanted to get up every morning, watch daily mass, and open with prayer and begin my work day. And instead, I find myself sleeping in, not getting up in time to watch daily mass, struggling to get breakfast before all this happens. The reality is just that our best laid plans just go astray or we don't live up to them. And it's not because you aren't good enough. I think that's something I have to tell myself too. It's not because I'm not good enough. This failure or this fault does not mean that I'm not good enough. It does not mean that I'm not a daughter of God. It does not mean that I've suddenly lost some favor with Him. It just means if I'm really doing the best that I can, it's okay. Sometimes perfection or perfectionism can be the enemy of doing your best, of living to the fullness the call that the Lord has for you, to be the best version of yourself. And that isn't perfection. That isn't sticking to every plan that you have laid out all week for what your life will look like, your family life will look like, what homeschooling will look like, what outdoor time will look like. At the beginning of the quarantine, I saw these family schedules for homeschooling. And I basically set one for just myself and my life, and I've fallen short of that schedule, I would say probably almost every day. I don't think I can remember one day where I completely followed that schedule. And little by little, that chipped away at my self-confidence of, am I really handling quarantine well? And the truth is, your best is good enough. The real question isn't, am I doing this perfectly? Have I followed the schedule I laid out for myself? It is, am I doing what the Lord's asked me to do? Am I being faithful to Him in this moment? And that might not follow a schedule. And not following that schedule doesn't determine your worth. It was something that personally affected me, and I feel like I'm not the only one out there dealing with that. I think it's something parents are dealing with, students are dealing with, other young adults, other parishioners, that your best, your faithfulness to what the Lord is asking you right now in the present moment is better than following any schedule or any plan. God bless.